What is good, y'all, and welcome to the first solo cast of 2021. Go ahead and clap it up, y'all. We made it. We made it to another year, man. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying the joke, 2021, like as if we got our ass kicked by 2020 and it actually won. But the fact that we here kind of proves that that's not really true. Because in my opinion, 2020 lost, nigga. I leveled up. Got my first apartment, built my first PC, started streaming, started, doing the content. So in my opinion, 2020 was a victory for me. I know a lot of stuff happened. I know a lot of BS, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that 2020 was a bad year. I grew, I developed a lot. So I'm cool, I'm satisfied. And I know, real quick, I'm actually recording this for the first time in black and white. Usually I record it in color and then in post edit, I make it black and white, but I just decided to cut the middleman out. But hopefully there's not a moment in the middle of this podcast where I need to restore color, because that's literally gonna be impossible. But trying new things, y'all. And just to give y'all, I know I probably never said why I record my podcast in black and white. I originally started just as a stylistic choice, but then I kept on because I wanted to do it to differentiate my podcast from my other videos. So when people go on my YouTube and they scroll and they just want to, see my podcast, or, they can tell by the ones that are black and white. And eventually, once I start doing skits on the channel, I want to make those, thumbnails a bit different too. Of course I'm not going to record those in black and white, but I'm going to make the thumbnails a little bit different, so everyone can kind of differentiate, the difference between my gameplay videos, my podcast, and my skits. I know I can, the optimal thing would be to make different channels and have a channel for skits and a channel, but y'all know me, bro. I'm too lazy for all that. I'm not trying to manage a whole bunch of different pages. I'ma just stick to one, and then if that becomes a headache, then maybe I'll start branching them out. But I do want to do a separate one for my Twitch streams, because I know my Twitch streams are an hour plus, and I don't want to upload all those videos to my main channel. I kind of want to do a secondary streaming channel for those who missed them, because I don't want to keep them on my Twitch forever. But yeah, man, with all that being said, moving into the new year, a lot of positive vibes, man, just staying strong. But let's just agree on this. The slate, I said this on my Twitch stream not too long ago. The slate is not wiped clean just because it's 2021. As much as I hate to admit it, yesterday's problems are kind of still today's problems, whether you like it or not. It's not just because the date has a new number on it. It's all right, now everything's, rainbow, sunshine. No, bro, we still gotta, be ambitious. We still gotta hold ourselves accountable for a lot of stuff. We still gotta, put our foot down on a lot of stuff and just grow and become better people. So don't be one of those people that assumes just because it's January, everything is supposed to just turn a new leaf. That's not how life works. But going into this year, like I said on my Twitch, I really just want to embrace the struggle, bro, because that's really one of the biggest ways to get through life, is to find comfort in hardship and not just being obsessed with the happy image and everything being, just cool, because it's not life, bro. We all go through shit, we all go through stuff, and it's our job to, realize that it's cool to go through that stuff. It's cool to feel certain ways, and we need to embrace that and power right through it. But channel updates. We just wrapped up the Cyberpunk Part 2. That's on the channel now. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I kind of need y'all to run those views up, because I'm kind of liking how the series is turning out. But I'm thinking, because I saw the views on Part 1 going up, so what I'm thinking is people who missed out on that one maybe went back and watched that one first, and give it a little bit of time, then they'll go and watch Part 2. That's what I'm hoping. But right now the views ain't looking as good as I want them to. But keep hoping for the best, Jacob. That's all it is. But I did say that I'm gonna start probably streaming Mafia on Twitch, because that's also not doing too good on the channel. Manhunt will probably stay on there, but from now on, it's really just gonna be just Cyberpunk and podcasts for and maybe that last Among Us video, but I did say last night I'm planning on taking a kind of a hiatus from YouTube, not a long one, because I really need to find out what in the hell am I doing wrong. Because as far as the duration goes on the video, I know a lot of people say they wanted shorter videos because I wanted to do hour-long videos, and I was like, all right, let me narrow it down to 30, and then 30 is not doing good, and I tried the sweet spot, like, 12 to 15 minutes, but then like those, like, I don't know, I'm having a hard time like rolling the dice and seeing what sticks. And that's why I tell y'all all the time, I need some feedback. I need constructive criticism so I can know where to work and where to, clean up my act. Because if I don't hear nothing from nobody, I just assume I'm doing nothing wrong. And that's not a good thing if my channel statistics aren't looking too good. But yeah, that's just pretty much updates regarding all that. But I know leading into the new year, this is actually where I'm going to start the actual real show. That was just the intro. But leading into the new year, everybody's going to be doing their top 10 list of 2020 or their worst list of 2020. And I'm not really into all that. I don't like ranking stuff. But what I did say I wanted to do, I want to talk about, the five mindsets that I think need to be left behind in 2020. Because like I said, I grew a lot as a person, and I noticed a lot of this like toxic behavior and mindsets that I was like surrounding myself with, and also like seeing like on the internet here and there. And I was like, bro, I don't know what's going on with y'all, but y'all need to stop thinking like this, because this is what is hindering your progression, in life. And the number one mindset that I think is the most important one, especially with everything that happened, is if it isn't happening to me, it doesn't exist. Can we please leave this behind, bro? The prime example, how did COVID start off? Oh, it's a hoax. Do you know anybody personally that has it? I don't know anybody that has it. Honestly, I don't think it's real. Like, and then what happened when y'all family members start getting it? Or what happened when you got it? Now it's real. Like, and just the most recent example, there was a suicide bombing in, was it Nashville, on Christmas or Christmas Eve. You might know about it, or you might have just skimmed over it and noticed nobody's really talking about that shit. And you know why? Because it didn't happen to them. It didn't happen in LA. It didn't happen in New York. It didn't happen somewhere where we all would pay attention. So we just skimmed right over it. And we have to stop this, bro. And I get it. We get extremely annoyed, because I remember I heard a lot of comments during like the whole, when all the racist stuff was going on with, especially like with George Floyd and all that, and you would hear people come out and be like, well, y'all standing up for this, but, and speaking up now, but where were you when all the forest fires were happening? And I get that, like, bro, shut up, you picking the wrong time to bring that up. But I understand where they are coming from, because what they're saying is like, well, when they're talking to us specifically, it's like, well, you're so quick to say something when it's happening to your people, but just when something's happening to the forest or something, like, you don't give two shits about it. If you have to drive past it every day and see your neighborhood on fire, or other people you cared about on fire, then maybe you care about it. So that while it isn't the best time for them to say comments like that, I understand what they mean. Like, don't just step up for stuff that affects you personally. Like, at the end of the day, we all live in the same world where we all need to take care of each other, regardless of like race, ethnicity, beliefs, like, or whether it happens to our immediate families or our communities. We need to take care of everybody, because we're all in this together. I tell y'all all the time, there's no such thing as individualism. There really isn't. But that is my number one mindset that I believe it might be the most important one. Leave that shit behind, bro. Stop being selfish. That's as easy as I could put it. But number two, and this is something that bothers me, and I even watched a stream with my boy Maximilian dude, and he said the same thing. Stop seeking answers from everybody but yourself. And what I mean by that is, I'll have streams, or he'll have streams, and then, or I'll just be doing videos and people will ask us the most simple questions and they'll expect the answer on a silver platter, like, oh, like, how do you edit your videos? Or like, how did you get so good at editing? And it's like, I can tell you these things, bro, but me telling you is not really gonna do anything for you. There's a thing called experience that helps you master things. And I can sit here and be like, oh, I did this, I did that, I did this, but me telling you does nothing, because in reality, I didn't wake up with these answers. I found them on my own. I didn't seek out somebody who had the answers, because in reality, no one really has the answers tailored to your life. Like, everyone lives different lives, so there's gonna be different solutions. Solutions, can I talk today? Solutions for everybody. You know, everyone has different learning curves. Not everyone has the same level of education. So I could be like, oh, I'll use this program and it took this long to learn this. I did this, but it might not work the same for you. So at the end of the day, this might be blunt and kind of harsh, but get up off your ass and do your research, bro, because none of us wake up, you know, and we just know it all, bro. I'll tell people all the time, if you don't find the answers on Google or YouTube, there's a brilliant site called Skillshare. But the thing about Skillshare, you got to pay money for it. But that's the cost of learning stuff. But the thing I love about Skillshare, they don't just show you and tell you what to do. They actually give you files and projects so you can do it alongside with them. So you can actually be working on it while they're working on it. You're hands-on with it. And so you're actually getting experience as you're doing it, and not just watching or just listening to somebody just give you the answer, bro. Like, I understand sometimes you look up to people and you just want them to tell you something. You want them to force feed you, but in the words of Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness, he says, I might not know the answer, but I will tell you I don't know. But I will find that answer. And that's the thing. I asked myself, Jordan, how do I edit this video? I asked myself, I don't know how. So do I think, well, let me go ask somebody? No, if I don't know how, figure it out. Start typing, start doing research, find the answer. It's that simple, y'all. It's not rocket science. That's number 2. Number 3. Holy hell. This one's a doozy. If I don't like it, nobody else can like it. And not only that, I'm going to get on the internet and I'm going to find people that like this and I'm going to talk shit about them. I'm not going to empathize with them. I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to just say, you're wrong for liking this because I think it's dog shit. Anyone else who doesn't see from my point of view, you're an idiot. It is just like, holy. You just want to just log out, bro. Like, nigga, like, there's a thing called, you know, difference of opinions, agreeing to disagree. Like, what? This didn't even start in 2020. Kind of started like a few years like prior, but it really got so bad in 2020 with everyone just being stuck on the internet and being stuck inside. But it's like with The Last of Us 2, it's like everyone was like, bro, I hate this game. I want it to fail. I think it's trash. And I'm going to get on the internet and I can't wait till I find somebody defending it because I'm going to grill their ass. And it's like, why is that so important to you? To like just grill people for a difference in opinion. Like, people can like stuff that you don't like, bro. And it's like shit like that. It just makes me just want to just throw on my hood and just smoke a blunt and just tune everything out, bro. Cause like, holy hell, that shit is toxic. That might be one of the most toxic mind states out of all these 5 that I think just need to piss the hell off and be gone somewhere. But we gonna move on from that. Number 4, which is kind of something that affects me personally, but I do want to say this because I think a lot of people can agree with me on this, especially content creators, musicians, or anybody that's out there, chasing the dream. Leave this behind. Let me support someone who I don't know and has a ton of recognition over someone I do know and they truly deserve the recognition. Like, there's so many people that say like, oh, like, man, there's no one to really, pop off like out of our community. There's no one to really put on for, Bakersfield. There's really no one to like, or wherever you're from, like, how come we don't get like people out of our community that, become successes? But at the same time, there is so many talented people in your community that are trying so hard, day in and day out. They're sticking to schedules and they're putting stuff out there, but y'all would rather retweet, repost, like, and share the 2 Chainz album, the Drake album, the hottest movie out. Y'all rather repost a million times about how y'all like the movie Soul, which is cool, it's a dope movie, or like all types of short videos that you watch, like, or little short TikToks. Oh, I thought this was funny, laugh out loud. You quick to share and repost all that stuff from people that will probably, like, the people who created that content, they appreciate it, but like, they already have a lot of attention on them, bro. They already have overwhelming success. Help the people that actually, deserve it. And if you feel like they don't, like, if they're lacking, like, don't support people from your community just to do it. Like, if they have flaws in what they do, if their content isn't up to par, don't just support it and be a yes man and be like, well, in reality, I think his shit is trash, but I'm gonna support it. No, give them constructive, criticism and feedback, let them know, and then start to support them. Or if you constantly tell them stuff and they don't get it down, then just be like, all right, I tried to help them, but I'm gonna still support them. I'm gonna just keep it on mute and play it in the background so we get some views or something. Like, I don't know, man, do something, but y'all need to leave that mind state behind that all these celebrities and people that you idolize are more important than the people that you actually grow up and socialize with. Like, get that out of here, bro. Like, I get it, but it's not cool. And last but not least, number 5, which once again touches on the cancel culture, but it is what it is. And that is, if you have a dark past, that is who you truly are. And this is what I mean going into 2021, man. There's going to be so much growth and development, and not even just 2021. There was a lot of growth and development in a lot of people in 2020. A lot of people woke up, turned a new leaf, and, started to, come to their spiritual awakening. Which is what, look, I know a lot of people made fun of that whole December, 20, whatever, like how people were supposed to get superpowers, but I actually looked into that, and me and my homegirl Dory looked into it. And I think a lot of people were so busy on making fun of that no one really saw like what that really was. Like, and it wasn't where that all came from. It was never meant to like say, oh, people are gonna get superpowers. It was meant to say that people are gonna like start slowly transitioning, like mentally. That's like when I did a lot of my research, and my homegirl Dory, that's what we were kind of reading into. Like, come that day, a lot of people who are been feeling like kind of lost and kind of depressed, like in the midst of all this, they're gonna slowly start figuring things out, because something in the like kinetic energy in the galaxy is gonna start like manifesting with, I guess, us woke people or something. I don't know. You could say it's bullshit, but like I think that's what it really is. And I think people are changing. And for people to be like, oh no, if you did some bullshit in the past, I can never let that go. Like, come on, bro. People change. I know there's like that saying, like, people never change, but come on, bro. Like, people honestly do. Believe it or not, they change for the better, they change for the worse. You just gotta stick it out and see which one happens. But don't just count people out because they did one thing and you don't agree with it. Now, if you want to like, let's get this straight. There's a difference between canceling somebody and crucifying somebody. If they on some bullshit and you kind of see that they still not changing, there's nothing wrong with canceling them. And by canceling, I mean just tune them out. Don't pay attention to them. You know, keep living your life, and you don't necessarily hate them. You just don't. They kind of don't exist to you. But crucifying somebody is when you're like, not only do I not like this person, I'm gonna cancel them. I'm gonna speak bad about them every chance I get. I'm gonna tell other people how they should also believe this person is a piece of shit. I'm gonna try to, you know, ridicule and humiliate this person in public any chance I get. Like, that stuff is going too far, bro. Like, I get you want to cancel somebody, but don't crucify people, because nobody deserves all that. Even some of the people that did like the craziest stuff, like, you don't know what they went through in order to make them make that decision. So just get off their damn backs, bro. But that's just gonna wrap up my top 5 mindsets that I think need to just die off, and good riddance. But moving on to news and updates as far as gaming goes, let me switch over to my live scene. Cyberpunk 2077 has announced, well, the developers announced that they will be releasing free DLC in early 2021, but a lot of people are saying don't expect it to be out soon. And you know the reason for that is because the game is still a hot pile of trash right now. Like, don't get me wrong, the game is beautiful at times. The story is excellent at times. The characters are excellent at times. There's a lot of very great things about this game, but I'm gonna be honest, I have stopped playing it in whole. And what made me stop playing it is I got to a mission, and when I approached it, I got the mission. I got the notification saying, hey, make sure you go wrap up everything else before you do this mission because you're about to beat the game. And when I got that message, it kind of hit, because I was like, damn, I'm already about to beat this game and I'm still lacking a sense of fulfillment. Like, there's usually when I get to that point of the game, I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's do this. Let's beat this. I'm ready. I've been grinding this out. Like, I've been playing this for a while. Let's beat it. But when I got that, I was like, ooh, already? And I was like, all right, well, let me go do some side quests. And I was go stream the side quest. And I was go title the stream like, oh, just wrapping up, you know, the last loose ends of the game before I finish it. And then I tried to stream it, and I had so many problems. Like, the game was running like a slideshow, and I was like, is there something wrong with my PC, or is it the game? I tried streaming Red Dead Redemption 2, Death Stranding, a lot of other heavy graphical intensive games. They all stream perfectly fine. So there's something wrong with Cyberpunk that it wouldn't let me stream it. And at that point, I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm just gonna let the game marinate until February, and when that time comes, I'll pick it back up. I'm gonna be editing the videos I recorded, but yeah, they over here talking about free DLC. I mean, which was expected. They did the same thing with The Witcher, but let's just see. In my opinion, Cyberpunk 2077 isn't quite the disaster some have suggested. Wait, what are you talking about? But okay, here's the notification. Cyberpunk free DLC starts hitting Night City early 2021. Stay tuned for more info. See, my thing is, if they're gonna do DLC, let me find out it's cut content, bro, or it was originally meant to be in the game, like as like part of the story, but they had to like get rid of it and just did it as DLC, bro. I don't care if it's free or not. Like, nigga, what? Like, but if it's like, you know, kind of like add-ons, how The Witcher did, where it's like, oh, you get like, you know, some hot, you know, some hot drip, or you get like, you know, a really dope like side mission, or you get, I don't know, just like this. icing on the cake. Like that stuff like that would be cool, but if I start playing this stuff and it becomes very obvious that it is just cut content from the original game, I'm gonna be like, all right, y'all, I see what y'all doing. And I honestly think, as much as I hate to say it, CD Projekt Red, your reputation has been hurt, unfortunately. I mean, it's not like y'all had the absolute biggest reputation on my end. I mean, I thought they did a great job with The Witcher, but I didn't hold them up to a very high pedestal. But I mean, but even still, I expected great things from this, and this just didn't hit. But staying on the gaming news, this just concluded on December 29th. After 10 long years, we have finally come to the conclusion that video games do not cause people to, be crazy and kill people. Like, y'all remember when when there would be like those school shooters and all these kids acting out, and the number one solution was, well, maybe they need to stop playing the violent video games. So this says, a 10-year-long study confirms no link between playing violent video games as early as 10-year-olds and aggressive behavior later in life. Basically, what this confirms is that y'all are some shitty ass parents for letting your 10-year-olds play GTA 5 or God knows what. Like, this has always been a scapegoat and an excuse for bad parenting, neglect. Because we all see the parents that just hand the kid the iPad. I just want to shut them up, or hand them the controller and let that babysit them. But it's like, if you're going to have your kid play those types of games, at least monitor them so you can understand what the hell they're doing. Because I'm not going to lie, when I was a kid, we played GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Manhunt, The Warriors. What else did we play? Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Fight for New York, beating people up. They was cussing, shooting, violence. But at the same time, we had a very structured, lifestyle with our parents where they taught us right from wrong. They educated us on, the ways of life, and they taught us that, yeah, that stuff is cool in video games, but let me catch you doing that shit in real life and I'm gonna whoop your ass. Let me catch you. Keep it real, I low-key had to turn a lot of the games down that cuss, but because if my parents caught it, like, hey, like, all right, I understand that game might have a little bit of cussing, but you better turn that shit down. I don't want to hear it, because if I start hearing it, I'm gonna start thinking that I'm gonna catch you saying it. If I catch you saying it, I'm whooping you. So like, you can have your kids play these games and be a good parent and have them turn out all right. I turned out cool. But for all the parents that be like, oh, well, my kid is acting weird and this and that, so I think it's because of Grand Theft Auto. No, it's because you ain't paying attention to what the hell your kid is doing. And when he's going around shooting people in the game and running people over, you're not watching him doing it and telling him, hey, like, why are you doing this in the game? And if he gives you an answer, well, I'm doing it because I think this is exciting, I think this is the best, and then, whoa, red flag. You might have to be like, all right, well, while you feel that way, you do know that this is just a game, right? And explain that and talk to him. Be like, don't get too carried away, bro. Like, you have to understand that this is virtual reality, but when you get to actual reality, you better straighten your shit up real quick. So, yeah. Let's just get that whole spiel out the way that video games are corrupting the youth. But the last news I have regarding gaming is about my man Kanye. Now, I've been hearing about Kanye wanting to get into gaming. I heard he tried to do like some game regarding his mom or something. I just remember the idea being very weird, but this article just came out saying that ex-Nintendo executive, which is Reggie Fils-Aimé, says he had to politely decline working on a game with Kanye West. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, Kanye West don't even strike me as the guy that can direct or develop. It just, like, don't get me wrong, I understand you wanted to pursue a lot of different things, but sometimes, like, I would want people to tell me, like, all right, you know what, that might not be your thing. Like, if I'm doing content creating, videos, podcasting, and stuff like in that lane, and I want to branch out with stuff that kind of is relatable to that, then cool. But if y'all just catch me on here one day trying to be like an NBA player, I hope I have somebody in my comments or somebody that just will call me and be like, Jordan, what the hell are you doing? I understand you chasing your ambitions and dreams, but nigga, you are not an NBA player, bro. Sit your ass down somewhere. And that's why I feel like with Kanye, like Kanye could do a lot of things. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. But I just feel like video game development is something he might need to stay away from. But it says, in one of the odder gaming stories to come out of 2020, former Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé has revealed that Kanye West once approached the company about working together on a project. Fils-Aimé shared the story about meeting West on his Talking Games with Reggie and Harold podcast, as noted by a recent post on Nintendo Everything. On the podcast, Fils-Aimé said that at a past E3 convention, the hip-hop artist, producer, fashion designer visited Nintendo's area at the event and spent some time with the famed game director, Miyamoto. To hear Fils-Aimé tell it, West then asked to have a meeting with him. According to Fils-Aimé, the two eventually met at West California business office where the rapper proceeded to shoot his shot. Part of the meeting was talking about what he was up to. He was experimenting with a piece of video game content. He wanted reactions to it. He comes out and says, I want to work with Nintendo. Which is weird. Kanye doesn't strike me as a Nintendo guy. He kind of strikes me as a Sony guy. So that's a bit weird he went to Nintendo, but moving on. Fils-Aimé recalled, we had so many different projects at Nintendo going on, the possibility of doing something with Kanye just wasn't there, so I had to find a way to politely decline the opportunity to work with him. Oh, so he didn't decline it because his idea was trash. He declined it because they just didn't have time? Wait, Fils-Aimé said that he tried to let the multi-hyphenate down gently. I told him, Kanye, you don't want to work with us because we're tough, we're hard. All we do is push for the very best content. We would not be the type of partner you would want to work with. And he looks at me and says, Reggie, you're exactly the type of partner I want because of that reason. It's like, oh my gosh. The ex-Nintendo American executive described the encounter as interesting. That's a good word. And mentioned that Kim Kardashian West was there at the meeting as well. Of course, the meeting didn't amount to a collaboration between Nintendo and Kanye West, but it's a curious thing to imagine. The Talking Games with Reggie and Harold podcast is a 7-part series. Okay, we don't care about that. But basically, the man's got shot down. And I mean, Kanye kind of seems like one of those guys that he's kind of so full of himself that he thinks that if he just has a meeting with anybody, like they'll just hear him out and everything will work his way. But I don't know, Kanye, you kind of got a lot on your plate right now, and I think you should kind of maybe put gaming on the back burner for now until you figure some things out, and especially if you want to be in politics. But moving on from gaming, let's get into some anime news regarding the GOAT. They're calling my man Oda GODA because One Piece just hit its 1,000 chapter. Golly. First off, it had like 900 plus episodes. I mean, so it doesn't surprise me that it's the 1,000th chapter, but look, I know a lot of y'all be intimidated when it comes to watching One Piece. Like, y'all hear it's 900 plus episodes, you're like, God damn, where do I start? I don't want to get into that. Plus, it has a lot of filler. But I was just talking to my boy Chris about this last night. You can go to websites where they tell you what episodes are filler, and you can skip those. Now, granted, I did watch like half of the series before I found that out, so I was a little bit bummed, but even then, like, some of the filler is cool. Not all of it, but some of it. But The thing about One Piece, you gotta realize the reason why this show has been going on for so long is because of the writing. A lot of people think this show is just there because like it's just a typical anime. No, the writing is excellent. There's so many surprises and twists and turns. The character development is probably some of the best I've seen in anime. Like I came to the conclusion, like I used to hold Dragon Ball Z as my top anime, but I don't think that is. I think One Piece is, because I was watching like the fight last night between Cell and Gohan, and then I watched the Tournament of Power after that, and I was like, I know that's not Dragon Ball Z, it's Dragon Ball Super, but I was like, there is so many stupid ideas in this show's plot. There's so many dumb things that happen. Yes, the fight scenes are fire. There's so many memorable fights, but like the whole thing, like how when Trunks comes like from the future and warns Goku about the virus, and then he doesn't take it even though he warned him about it, and then still gets sick, and then all this stuff plays out, and then Goku of course comes back to the rescue again, just like he did in like the Raditz saga, but then he like gives the fight to Gohan, but then Gohan does so many stupid decisions, like so many, like why? I was like, dude, there is so many plot holes, not even plot holes, just dumb plot points. And that's what makes One Piece so much better, is it doesn't have that. Like it has the dope ass fights, it has all the characters, it has everything. It has everything Dragon Ball Z has plus more. So that's why this is kind of edged up to like my #1 anime, because my man Zoro is the GOAT. Sanji used to be my favorite, but I like everybody. Nico Robin is bae. You know, I'm not really into anime chicks, but Nico Robin is god. But enough of that. But yeah, One Piece has been going strong for a long time, man. Big shout outs to Oda. Like I even said, like sometimes I wonder if I'll even be alive to witness the end, because they say it's still far away from the conclusion. I don't know if this nigga is ever gonna find a One Piece, but yeah, that's really up there. And regarding One Piece, a lot of people, till every time they hear me get a text notification, they say, bro, what in the hell was that sound? Or like, or what the hell did I just hear? And if you don't know, it is literally the sound from One Piece. Now I'm gonna probably have to edit this sound effect later on into, because I don't think I have my desktop audio recording right now, but every time that sound right there is my text tone, that boing. And what that is, it's actually a funny story. Every time he does that, that is basically his power of seeing into the future. For one, I put that as my text tone because I thought that's a dope ass sound effect. It just sounds fire. But I also did it because I felt like every time, this is so stupid and so corny, but every time like my text alert would go off, I would kind of like predict what I was about to do. And I used to live a lifestyle that I'm leaving this behind in 2020, so don't judge me, but I used to live a lifestyle where every time I got a text, 9 times out of 10 it meant that I was gonna have to get in my car, hop in the streets, and handle some business. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But so every time I would get that text, the second I would hear it, without me even reading it, I would like immediately see myself 5 minutes ahead of time, like getting into my car. And like I know it sounds so stupid and corny, but it was just my way of just having fun. Like, and usually, yeah, sometimes I would get the text and it would just be my mom, like, you know, being nosy or asking stuff. So it wasn't always me, sometimes I would guess, like, okay, like I heard the text tone, let me predict what it is I'm about to do before I read it, because I'm trying to like be like freaking Katakuri. But then I would read I'm like, oh, it's just my mom, or it's just Dory. Just that's just a quick backstory, and that's, once again, that's something else I gotta leave behind in 2020, man. No more being in the streets, bruh. I can't. Now that I'm streaming, and now that you know, now that I'm doing content and editing, I gotta be in one spot. And not only that, I gotta work on putting the herb down too. I can't smoke it as much. I'm gonna be, look, I'm about to blow your minds right now. I know a lot of people think smoking isn't bad and you can smoke your whole life and nothing will really happen. But let me tell y'all something. Let's look at a picture of Snoop Dogg today. Now this is how Snoop looks today. Disregard all these stupid, spam pictures, but this is kind of how he looks, And you might think, you don't look bad, he looks cool. Keep in mind, Snoop has done a whole lot of smoking. And let's just look at Snoop Dogg's age. He's 49. Now you might think he doesn't look bad for a 49-year-old. But you want to know who else is 49 or 48? Now, I brought this up to somebody and they were like, Jordan, shut the hell up. That is like two completely different examples. But look, this just goes to show you the difference in if you start to treat your body like a temple and take care of it, what you can look like at 48 versus what I'm probably gonna look like at 48. So I've come to the conclusion, look, 2021, I might have to slow down on the herb, man. Like, the one thing that gets me picking it back up every time is music. Like, music is such a hard thing for me to enjoy without being lit. I don't know why, bro, but that's a crutch that I have to work on, because there was a time and age in my life where I was able to enjoy music without being high, and I want to get back to that point. But yeah, that's just something I need to work on. But let's go ahead and move on to the Q&A, because I got some questions from some very dope people, but I only got two, which is cool, I guess. I don't want to have a whole overwhelming amount of questions, but we gonna go ahead and get this first one out the way, because y'all will understand why once I read it. But this first question comes from my man Hodge, aka OD3. If y'all don't follow him on Instagram or tap in with his music, I don't know why, but I will leave his info down below just to plug him in. But of course this fool is my homie, so he go get on here and ask some dumbass question, but I'm gonna answer it anyway, bro. But I'm not even gonna answer it in a bullshit way. I'm gonna actually take this question low-key serious. He says, what do you consider niggatry? Don't laugh. For those of y'all that don't know, niggatry is a term me and Hodge use a lot. And it's used to describe, random acts that niggas do and indulge in. Now, if you don't know how I articulate myself and how I word things, when I say, and look, this is a word I'm trying to leave behind, but I'm gonna just keep saying it just to give y'all context. Stop laughing. When I say niggas, I don't mean common black folk. Same thing when I had that whole argument. Like I said, when I say coons, when I call people coons, I'm not talking about all black people. I say this all the time. There's coons, there's black people, and then there's niggas. And coons are the type that, they've been sold out to, the oppressor. They've become Uncle Toms. They've been bought out by money. They'll say anything to, degrade their own skin color without even realizing that they're doing it. They're sellouts. And then you got black folks, which are, people like me, typical, cool, all around, we the dope people. We the type of people, you like to chill with, you like to copy our culture, you love our hair, you love everything about us because we're cool, dope people down to earth. But then you got niggas. And niggas are those types of black people that even I'm low-key afraid of. Like, even when I'm like even Earthquake would say, even black folks, when we see niggas, when we walking down the street, we low-key turn the other way, like, oh, those is niggas. Because niggas is, they're kind of like coons where they're like blind, but they're not on the side of the oppressor. They're kind of on the side of like, nigga, I just want to be ignorant. I don't want to grow. I want to kill my own people. I want to hate on my own people. I want to get drunk 24/7. I want to get high 24/7. I want to be gang 24/7. Like, and I get if you in the gang life and you fell into it for certain reasons and that was all you had, cool. But like, if you one of those dudes that's just like, oh, this is the life. This is everything about it. Like, this is excellent. Like, I love this. Like, and I love just carrying my strap everywhere. I love wanting to shoot a nigga 24/7. I love just being on edge. Like, that's low-key some niggatry. Like, you might need to chill. So like, that's what I consider niggatry. It's just like you doing some stuff that you just want to stay stuck in the mud, in my opinion. So if y'all ever catch me saying stuff like that, don't assume that like, all right, like this nigga gut being out of pocket, or he like, it's all jokes, bro. Like, it's just our way of poking fun at highlighting issues within our community and not just, being very super duper blunt and like grilling people. Like, it's all fun and jokes, bro. Don't get offended. Don't like be like, oh, why is he saying that word? Like, it's just a word, bro. Get over it. But moving on to an actual somewhat better question that comes from my homegirl Naomi, and she says, excuse me, what advice would you give upcoming podcasters in 2021? Great question. I mean, not that I'm a very experienced podcaster. I've only been doing this for, a couple of months, maybe. Yeah, a couple of months. But I mean, I can give you some pointers. The main thing I could say is equipment, microphones. At the end of the day, that's your main, pull is, audio, and no one's gonna want to hear, audio that sounds like it's coming from like a gargled up microphone. Like, you don't want to use a headset with a microphone like this. I mean, you have some cool ones, but you don't want to be like talking through like an Xbox Live microphone or something like that. So you want to get something cool. My advice would be an XLR mic, like this one that has like the XLR plug, or if you want to get something for starters, you can get a Blue Yeti. Now, I know I said a lot of negative things about this when I first got it, but that was just because I couldn't quite figure it out. But now that I somewhat figured it out, this is an excellent microphone, especially if you're gonna have more than one person, because it has settings where you can pick up audio from this side and that side. It has settings where you could pick it up, from all around, or if it's just you can just pick it up from here. And I think it goes for like less than 200, which is like, whereas with this mic and XLR mics, you're usually gonna spend like maybe around 300 and up. And I know sometimes when you see those prices, you could think like, whoa, but at the same time, like, if you're gonna be podcasting, it's an investment. And another thing I would say is you definitely want to try to tackle all lanes. And what I mean by that is try to do visual and audio. Don't be like me and just tackle visual. I know I've been saying for the longest time, I'm gonna throw them on Spotify, and good God, excuse me, I keep burping. But I've been saying for the longest, I'm gonna throw my podcast on Spotify and Apple, because at the end of the day, a lot of people do just listen. So like I said, make sure if you want to start off on the right foot, start off with visual and audio. But you would be surprised on how many people like to watch visual, because I'm kind of a mixed bag. I like to put on the visual podcast, but then kind of put it in the background on one of my second monitors, and then kind of like work on something. And then when I hear something funny or interesting happen, then I'll kind of look at it so I can see like their body language or their interaction. So, but like I said, you would be surprised on how much people want to like sit down and just watch you talk, like, because they just like seeing, you know, your interactions with people. They like seeing your character and what you can bring to the table. And that's another thing, you know, be a very dope character. Like, don't be somebody you're not, but like express yourself. Like, you don't want to get on the mic being all monotone and just reading a script. Like, you know, like add some spice to it, you know, add some flair, you know. This, you know, express yourself, because I'm from Grove Street. That's what I tell people all the time. Just really be comfortable in your own zone, and also talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Don't feel inclined to like, you know, well, people only care about current events, so let me talk about that, or people only care about technology, so let me only talk about technology. No, your podcast is your platform. If you want to talk about music or fashion, or you want to do 4 topics on one podcast, or do a whole podcast on one topic, you do you. It's your freedom. Take control of it. Take pride in it. Even though I say, you know, I try to stay away from pride, but you know, just be you know, be on top of, you know, what it is that you do. But yeah, just hardware, getting your equipment. And you also want to get an interface, get like a mixer so you can control the dials of like people's voices. You don't want to have to always, you know, jump into your software and have to fiddle with stuff there, because that's kind of a pain in the ass. It's always better to get either a mixer or something like a Scarlett interface. That way you can kind of just, if people are talking too loud, you can just turn the dials and tune stuff like that. But other than that, that's really the main advice I can give. There's really no crazy trick or crazy. It's kind of like how I said earlier, like, I can't really just give you all the answers. It's something that you just have to just start doing. You know, just get you a camera, set it up, sit in front of a microphone and just start talking. You can do like how I did, you know, do a few episodes like it's practice, and don't even announce it as you like starting a podcast. Just start throwing it up, you know, as like test runs, and see how people engage with it. And then once you start figuring out like how to color correct your camera and make it look good, and how to tune your audio and make it pop, and once you get everything official, you get like your intro and all that, then you could be like, all right, now I can announce that this is my podcast, this is my title, this is how it's going to be structured, you know, just one step at a time. But that's pretty much all I can say, you know. I don't have all the answers, unfortunately, but that's pretty much the only 2 questions I got, and that's gonna honestly start wrapping up this show. I got any outro notes? Let me check. I honestly don't, but I do want to clear up something that I said in my last Twitch stream that I was kind of having trouble dealing with. And I said something in the video that I kind of worded wrong. And what I said was that I kind of get annoyed when people hit me up about music. And it's not that. I just don't want people. It's not that I don't want people asking about music. Just don't narrow me down to that one specific lane and disregard all of my other passions as if they're non-existent to you because you can't get in tune with it. That's basically what I'm getting at. Like, in all honesty, like, people who constantly hammer on me about like, do you still rap, or when's the next project, or when's this, like, for some odd reason that makes me not want to do it. I don't know why, but it just triggers me to be like, all right, if you keep asking me for it, I'm gonna keep working on video game content. I'm gonna keep working on podcasting, because you got to understand the fact that these projects only come when I'm ready to do it. It's not about you and when you're ready to do it. I didn't start music because I wanted to cater to y'all. I mean, it's cool to have fans and supporters, but I started it because it was something I took pride and pleasure into doing, and over time I ended up switching it up and doing other things. And my thing is, I just want people to appreciate everything that I do, and I don't want people to like only talk to me and kind of be cool with me and just say like only speak about my music. But it's like, all right, like I got a lot more stuff to offer too. The perfect example I can say is with Berleezy, a guy I follow and I mention a lot on my Instagram. When he started on YouTube, he started doing a series where he would roast cartoons. He would do episodes of Hey Arnold, Ed, Ed and Eddie, SpongeBob, and he would do voiceovers where he would roast the characters and talk shit about them, and everyone found it hilarious. That's how he blew up. But eventually he got tired of it, and he started a gaming channel like me, doing gameplay videos. And it took a while. It took a while before people caught on to it. A lot of people didn't subscribe to that channel. A lot of people would go to that channel and be like, hey, get back to your other channel, where that's the reason I followed you. Like, where's the Easy Tunes at? Where's the roast at? I don't care about what you're doing. Do what you used to do. It's like some people just don't want you to grow. And it's so weird. They just want to cling on to that one thing that they discovered you for, and they don't want you to do anything else. Or if you do it, it just falls on deaf ears, and it's like, oh, okay, like that's cool and all, but when's that next income that I care about? But it's like, man, this is our platform. We built it up and we started the foundation. So at the end of the day, if we want to take it a different route, we go take it a different route, whether you like it or not, because it ain't about you. It's about us. It's about self-care. And some of y'all take that as like, oh, being selfish. Stop mixing up self-care with being selfish. It's another thing. That's another, matter of fact, that's the sixth mindset that needs to be left behind in 2020. Stop confusing self-care with being selfish. Please leave it behind. But with that being said, I need to exit this out because we're edging toward an hour and I don't want to go past that. But I appreciate you all for tapping into this podcast. I know I've been having a lot of breaks because it's been holiday season, but we go try to be consistent. But catch me live on Twitch. I'll be doing that more often. Links will be down below in the description. But until the next time, we outro. You dig?